Let it let it
Good evening. Welcome. God bless you. I see our chat room. To be amongst such beautiful people. Good evening. Good evening. Bless them to you all. Tori Ellison, watching on the 72-inch. Now, if you ain't said something right there, beautiful. And thank you for sharing that with us. What an encouragement. Absolutely. I'll play with things a little bit here. All right. Back over here. All right. Do I get a thumbs up that you can all hear me okay? Good evening, everyone. Hey, Dianese. She might be our youngest detoxer on here. Thank you, Nanita. Good evening, Jeannie, Pastor Sandra, Ebony, Dajane, Elitza, Erica Anderson, Carla, Deborah, Crystal Adgers. Welcome, Cynthia Basin. Cherie is on. Renee, Cheryl Johnson, Pastor D, Diana. Welcome, Stacy. Ashley, who told me that today was one of those days where she just needed so detox all day. Then she texted me again at 6:30. Then she texted me again and said, the countdown's not up. Ashley has been on it today. Ashley, you might have to come and stay with me for 30 days and help me out. Oh, thank you. Sending hugs to you, Sylvia. Rosa, welcome. Celine's welcome. Coach Maria, Carol, I see you. Got my book today. All right, Cheryl. Tori, thank you. Frederica, welcome. Mimi, Chevelle, Kamisha, Jenny, welcome. Lisa Palmer, Danielle, Tasha Ross, Bernard, Erica Carpening, Debbie Baker, God bless you. Coach Latanya, she's given us our instructions for tonight already, which are, let's get it going. Gwen Tucker, Lisa Palmer, welcome. Shamika, Corindus, ready or not. Nanita, Anya, Pastor Ronnie, welcome. Nicole, Roxanne, welcome. Charlene, all right, CW in the house. Keisha, welcome. Carmen Jones, welcome. Joy, welcome. Carla Townsend, Yvette Anderson, welcome. Pastor Beverly Baker, Dr. Vanessa, Anna, Gwen Molden, Latrice, Keisha, you've been hanging every night with us. Come on. See this through to the end. Ramanita, good evening. Eddie Kendo, Candy Oates, Tennille, Dixie, Stacy Turner, Gwen Tucker, I said your name already. Nicole Coleman, Carol R., welcome back this evening. Diana Santos, I see you, Camille. Dominique was our first one on tonight. Good evening. Dominique says, anyone else been refreshing their phone waiting for this? And she puts laugh out loud. What am I going to do with y'all? What am I going to do with y'all? So if you will, take a moment. We're up to 90 right now, but if you will, take a moment and just hit like on whatever social media platform that you are viewing So Detox on right now. If you would just take a moment and hit like on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. Just take a moment and hit like. Let's see. How can I tell on here? I think I left my phone. While you all are hitting like, I'm just going to pull up some information and then we should be able to jump right on in. Yeah, I'm going to have to look out here. So go ahead and hit like. Please share. Please, please, please share. Take your seat, my studio audience, Diamond. I'm not going anywhere. All right. Now we got it. God bless you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's see. When did this start? Today is Sunday. All right. Again, welcome to So Detox 2022. We are on day number 8. How y'all feeling about day number 8? How do you feel about day number 8? I owe you 5 minutes more for walking away. Yes. Come on, like and share. Misha says, yes, I refreshed a couple times too, Dominique, wondering where she was. Best seat in the house. Claim it, evangelist. All right. Welcome to So Detox 2022. We are on day 8. I am your host, Apostle Dr. Suzanne Howard, and you can visit my website and get some detailed information about what it is I do, who I am, and even some of the people who are just blessed by this. I think there still is a testimony page up, but I want to start out by reminding you that I am not a therapist. I am a board certified mental health coach. And I am certified to do what I do. And more than therapy, we are about recovery. And it's not just recovery from a drug. It's from the things that have seduced us and caused us to be in denial, where we have denied and ignored, in some cases, so many things of our life, where I'm able to help you through recovering from some of the things in life that has just taken maybe the wind out of us, or the wind that has blown us so much higher. So welcome. Thank you all for sharing. I want to remind you that we are on all the podcast stations. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can go in and listen. It's beautiful when I see that you've been on, or I can see that you've commented. It's beautiful to see that. And just some of the likes are Spotify, Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, Audible, where you get Audible books from. And I'm also on Amazon Prime. I didn't realize that Amazon has a podcast page, and I didn't even realize it. Just someone told me that. I think it was you, Sylvia, that said you watch me on Amazon. I said Amazon. So we're out there. And also we are on YouTube. So please take your time and like on YouTube. YouTube is the goal for me more than Facebook. I want to thank those who find it free in their heart to freely give. I want to thank Cynthia Baisden for her Cash App on yesterday. Ashley for her Cash App on yesterday. Anna for her consistent Cash App every day. Ramanita, thank you for your Cash App. And Cam Jackson, thank you as well for your Cash App. Thank you all for your kind giving. Such a sweet surprise. And it really helps us, as you can imagine, to do the things that we want to do, that we may talk about, but never really able to get to, because it takes money to do things. I want to thank Veline for her Cash App. So Detox 2022. And then she has the emoji with the hand over its mouth. So thank you for your kind giving as well. God bless y'all. You're some great people. I am honored to be hosting such a personal, vulnerable, private place in your life that you all show up every night for and encouraging others. I have a client who said she encouraged her friend and her friend got on one night, and now she's posting me all over her Instagram, all over her other pages. And she said, Apostle, she's putting me to shame because what she's getting out of it, she's just running and telling the world about it. So thank you. This is why we're here. And this is why we do what we do. So you still love me because you came back, huh? So tell me, how are you doing? How are you doing? You have a template to work on, an assessment, and it also has been sent out to you as a Google form so that you don't just have to, send it in on an email or anything. I definitely want it in your journal. So make sure you're answering it in your journal. And Shaylin said, I'm showing up glamorous tonight. This is my first time in church all year. I had to do a little something. And oh man, it's a lot of work, but we're getting the work done. I'm not God. He said, I'll never leave you nor forsake you, but I promise you, I'm going to do my best to never leave you or forsake you. I want to see you through in this because I know it works. And I'm so blessed when people call me and I can encourage them to go to therapy, but it's such a personal blessing when someone says, yeah, I know you're not a psychiatrist or a psychotherapist. I had a woman just yesterday. She said to me, but I want to come to you. I feel the level of comfortability with you, but what you're talking about is what I want to do. I don't want to sit on a couch and work through a template or a book with someone. And she just blessed me. And I don't know if she's on here tonight, but I didn't say your name. You know who you are. And I want you to know, if I didn't get the words out in our conversation, that you blessed me today with such kind words, because I do believe in what I do. And I'm very hopeful. I'm very connected to it. And because I love what I do and it's not for a paycheck, it's easy for me to do it and be excited about the fruit, the outcome, more than any of income that comes in. So I thank you all for that. Thank you, Renee. Okay. Hello, Pastor Janet Wade. God bless you. Good to see you in the house tonight. Amen. Beautiful. All right. Well, Ashley, we got a blessing coming for you anyway. So you just hold on for, what do we got? 21 more days. You hold on for 21 more days. We have a good blessing for you. And good evening to the bloomers that just came in, the late bloomers. Joyce C., who I believe was in here, but she's giving me flowers now. Thank you, my dear. Diane Washington, you've been on consistently. Thank you very much. I recognize your name now. And I hope that you all who have placed orders got your orders back. I hope you got your orders in the mail. They were all sent out, and a few more if you are local and you did not pick shipping. They are at the Soul Detox headquarters, the Apostles House, 131 East Elliott Street. They are there waiting for you. We will be open again on Tuesday at 12 noon. You can come in and pick your order up that day as well. We have some more books left. We have a lot of notebooks left, and I'm working on this manuscript maybe this week to have that ready, because I did get emails from a few of you that said, I want the manuscript. I'm all in. Just let us know when it's ready. So welcome and God bless you. All right. I'm going to get to the work that you're working on, because I want to be a constant reminder. I want to kind of nag you, if that's what I have to do, to get the work done, to go and talk to people who hold pertinent information that's going to help you develop and have a development plan for your life. So I want to talk to that before we close, but I want to go in here and I want to talk about some of the important things to notice about yourself, what you may be feeling or going through while you are becoming self-aware, some of the feelings or behaviors that you may be suffering through during these lives, or as you begin to start thinking more about what you have not been thinking about, paying conscious attention to yourself, that there may be some subtle things going on in you. And I just want to touch on those for a little bit And I also want to talk about the elements of self-awareness. The elements. We talked about the benefits. We talked about what is self-awareness. We'll continue to drill at what is self-awareness. But tonight I want to talk about the elements of self-awareness. So have you ever wondered why you feel the way you do? And that's a direct question. I want you to answer in the chat. Have you ever wondered why you feel the way you do? Being able to recognize and understand your emotions can be the deciding factor in your successes or failures. Surprisingly, many people are not self-aware, and their performance and communications suffer. Self-confidence. What is self-confidence? Self-confidence. Self-awareness starts with self-confidence. Self-awareness starts with self-confidence. When someone is self-confident, they have a positive outlook on life and will show compassion. This is important because if you constantly beat yourself up over your weaknesses, you are less likely to be honest with yourself. Honesty and compassion with yourself are a must for developing self-awareness. Let me read that again. Honesty. We said it in a different way last night, but we're saying it again tonight. Honesty and compassion with yourself are a must for developing self-awareness. Your self-confidence is your perception of yourself. Your perceptions come from your personal experiences, what you expect from yourself, what you expect from yourself in the future, and what you believe your abilities are. If your self-confidence is healthy, you are more likely to take on challenges, achieve goals that you've set for yourself, and live more positively overall. Explore your self-confidence. And if you don't believe it's healthy, make an effort to change how you experience yourself. This may be easier for some people and much harder for others, but it is possible. Explore your self-confidence. And if you don't believe it's healthy, make an effort to change how you perceive yourself. For some of you, this may be simple and easy. For others, this is a little bit harder. Just want to make a note. Something came to my mind that I want to do with y'all. And I want to add it into what we're doing. Free. Isn't that a blessing? Elements to self-awareness. Elements to self-awareness. Thoughts. Our thoughts are tied to our emotions. Come on, everybody who can, write that in the chat. Our thoughts, or you can say make it personal. Our thoughts are tied to our emotions. My thoughts are tied to my emotions. And this is an emotional pattern. To explore your emotional pattern, you want to explore your thought process, your thought pattern. Your patterns are the things that make you who you are, how you show up the way you do, why you experience certain things the way you do, why you repeat things over and over again, and why you repeat things over and over again that aren't good for you. Your thoughts are tied to your emotions. So when you try to become more aware of your emotions, you must first understand your thoughts and thought processes. Very good. Write it in there. Throughout the day, take note of what you say about yourself, how you talk about yourself, and what you say about situations you encounter. Metacognition. Start thinking about what you're thinking about. Let me repeat that again. Metacognition. Start thinking about what you're thinking about. Your thoughts are tied to your emotions. So when you try to become more aware of your emotions, you must first understand your thoughts and your thought processes. Throughout the day, this is going to be your soul work for tomorrow. Throughout the day tomorrow, again, I love setting alarms in my phone. Set an alarm in your phone and let it be a reminder. And just type the word metacognition or type the word thinking or thought and remind yourself, stop and do a check. It's almost like checking your blood pressure, checking your sugar, checking your heart rhythm. Just take a moment and do a check and find out, what have I been thinking about since the last time I checked in? What have I been thinking about since the last time I checked in with myself? Interesting. You're going to be very interesting to find out what the thought processes are like. How you talk about yourself and what you say about situations you encounter. If you notice your thoughts are more negative, practice mindfulness, and not the mindfulness of the word. I don't need anybody to sit in a posture like this. Sit in a posture like this. Fill me up. I'm empty before you, Lord. I'll explain mindfulness. Let me make a note, because most of the world understands mindfulness as only Buddha and Hinduism, and it started in Christianity. Last year, I remember a young lady who was in her master's program, and she was doing a paper on mindfulness, and she was stuck because she couldn't find anything on Christendom. So she was writing it as if she wasn't a Christian, and she heard me talking about it on here, and she contacted me and she asked for the information that I had on mindfulness from a Christian view. And I gave her the information that I had, and I helped her. I became a part of the work that she did on her master's program. And I was so excited for her. She was very happy to know that mindfulness came from a Christian aspect. So God bless how we can all work together. But if you notice that your thoughts are more negative, practice mindfulness to discover why your thoughts are that way. Then, after reflecting, try to have a more positive thoughts or thought process. You might have to force it. You might not even believe it, but over time, it will influence your thoughts to be more positive. It's powerful. Mindfulness. When I think of mindfulness, the true mindfulness, I think of David when he said, I meditate on your word day and night. That's mindfulness. Just think about having your mind full of something, having your mind fully aware of something. Let's just say you're in New York City and you're walking down Park Avenue. You're in the middle of Times Square and you're looking around. You're being mindful of your surroundings. You don't have to tap in to a frog position or tap into the universe or go tree hugging, because I hear that's a big thing right now. People are out hugging trees now, and all these things to be mindful. David said he meditates on the word of God. He says, thy word that I've hid in my heart. That's being mindful of God's word, being conscious of God, being God conscious. That's mindfulness. You don't have to do any of those other things. Wherever you are, you can be mindful of God. Another one is feelings. Another element is feelings. How do you feel when you say things about yourself? I want you to answer that. How do you feel when you say things about yourself? And it can be internal or external. When you say things about yourself, how do you feel? Let me see some of your comments. Feelings. That's right, Danielle. He didn't make a mistake giving us emotions and giving us a mind. He didn't make a mistake with that. Bad. Someone says, I feel bad. Come on. Someone says, I feel good. Down and not being honest. Go ahead, girl. Do the work. Do the work. Confident. Conqueror. That's good. That I can do better. Yeah, there we go. Now we're tapping in. Now we're thinking about what we're thinking about. Confident. Mixed emotions. Very good. Sometimes I laugh. Positive, hopeful. Some of y'all are doing really good with it. But for the majority, if you go into not just your level of thinking, but the level of thinking about what you're thinking about, that's a deeper depth. And you might find out there's a little bit of something going on in there. Elder Lisa. Now that's what I'm talking about. Not losing my mind for real. Some negative and some positive. Absolutely. There's more to me. Yeah. Not productive enough. I can always do better. Mixed emotions. I got a ways to go, but I'm coming. That there's a lot more for me to do. Is there any place in this for compassion for yourself? Is there any room in all of this? I'm not productive enough. I can always do better. I've got mixed emotions. I'm losing my mind. I'm afraid to lose my mind. I got a ways to go. There's more to me. There's a lot more for me to do. I see the negative, discouraged because I tend to struggle with negative self-talk, sometimes good and sometimes bad. Is there any room in there for compassion for yourself? In my self-esteem book, I talk about how people who have a unhealthy, dysfunctional, or somewhat absent self-esteem, they struggle giving themselves compassion. I'm not living up to my full potential. See? What we have to focus on is giving ourselves more compassion. Give yourself more compassion, especially after today, especially for the rest of the year and prayerfully for the rest of your life. Why? Because when you start to do work like this, a lot of the gook is floating up to the top now. Stuff that's been down in your body, stuff that's been making you feel irritable, tired, moody, bad habits of eating, not wanting to exercise, barely get out of bed. So all that stuff that's been lying in you, causing all these physical responses that you may not even be aware why you respond the way you do. During that time of doing this kind of work, all of the bad stuff, you know, when you have some coffee or some cream and some milk to put into your coffee or your tea, and you pour it in, and if it's not too bad, not when it's really bad and it's lumpy, but when it's just starting to go bad, and you pour it in and it looks normal, and then it goes in and it hits the heat and it looks normal, but you wait a few seconds, it comes up to the top and you see all the lumps up to the top. That's the work you're doing. So one of the things I'm going to need you to do is to make sure that you have compassion. Practice self-compassion. That's very good, Cheryl Johnson. That's right, Gwyneth. Absolutely. Come on, Rhonda. Guilty. Yeah. See, these are the things that come up. And sometimes because you just haven't talked about it, you haven't given yourself permission, you haven't acknowledged and honored those feelings. Sometimes just talking about them, you'll end up giving yourself compassion. Almost always just talking about them, guilt is alleviated. Guilt can go away. That's why the Catholics practice confession, because confession is good for the soul. It's good to confess. Sometimes confession can give you such a relief, people forget about repentance. Work on self-compassion. You have to give yourself self-compassion. It's been a lumpy week. I like that. So we're talking about the body now. Sometimes when we are thinking, it comes with a physical response that other people may or may not notice. A physical response that other people may or may not notice. The next time you feel a physical response to an emotion, take a couple of minutes to think about where in your body you feel this response. Do the feelings present in your facial expressions, your heart rate, your voice, or somewhere else in your body? Is this the kind of physical response you want? Are you aware of your physical responses? Let me read it again while y'all answer this question. If you are aware of your physical responses, tell me where often you feel a response when you have an emotion that's going through your body, an expression of emotion. Where does it show up physically in your body? A knot in my stomach. Good, y'all getting it. I'm going to read it again while y'all are answering. Sometimes when we're thinking, it comes with a physical response that other people may or may not notice. The next time you feel a physical response to an emotion, Take a couple of minutes to think where in your body you feel this response. Do the feelings present in your facial expressions, your heart rate, your voice, or somewhere else? And then think, is this the kind of physical response that I want to this emotion? I'm reading your comments. I'm seeing them as they go by. Facial, heart racing, my face first. My heart beats fast, either my stomach or my chest. Tightness and nausea. Yep. Breathing, stomach, facial expressions. Do y'all see the common patterns here? It's not too different from one of us to the next. Even if we have a different thing, if I did 5 people, everyone in here can be broken into 5 different categories. And that's the max. That's the max. Heart, hands, face, stomach. Heart, hands, face, stomach. Stomach, neck, same thing. Voice is anxiety. Facial expression. See, our body is not meant to carry the stress that we have in this fallen world that we live in. So our body's always going to respond by the message that we send it through our ears, through our eyes, whether we see it or perceive it. It's always going to send a message to our brain, and our brain is going to cause our body to go through some type of stress, fight or flight, whatever's in there. And we all have fight or flight, by the way. People act like it's only for people who have PTSD or people who are traumatized. We all have fight or flight. That is a safety mechanism that was given to us. The point of the problem is when you go into fight or flight, and those are the only 2 modes you get to operate in. You have to fight something or you got to walk away from something. And it's not a nice walk away. So don't think fight or flight is such a bad thing. We've stereotyped it so, and people grab these little cliches without doing any studies on it, and they throw you have fight or flight. We all have fight or flight. It's a survival mechanism that's in us. The problem is when those are the only 2 ways we handle situations, is by fight or by flight. So with a fight or flight response, we're all going to have a physical manifestation, a physical reaction in our body somewhere. And you have to notice where it is, because sometimes you may not notice the stress. You may not notice that something they said bothered you. You may think, I just take it the way it is. What's one of the statements I can't stand? Any of my clients on here, you know what it is. It is what it is. That is a statement I can't stand. Why? Because what the person is confessing to is, I am powerless in this situation. And you are not powerless in the situation. You're not. It is what it is. The Popeye syndrome. Yep. Y'all posting it up there. And when you have a mindset, it is what it is, you think that you have accepted look at them posted. Yep, they go Dominique. You think that by making a statement like that, that's just how I learned to let things go. Paso, I learned to let things go because it is what it is. And I can say to you, now stop right there. Where are you feeling it in your body? Where's it at in your body? Where's what at in my body? That statement has a physical response to it, because that is not a self-aware person statement. A self-aware person understands that there are multiple ways to handle a situation. Prophet Erica, I'm coming for that. I'm coming to get that out of you. So right away, when people make statements like that, I stop them. Okay, where's it at? Where do you feel it in your body? Where do I feel what? Ooh, I hear the attitude. So there's anxiety. I don't have anxiety. You do have anxiety. Listen to your tone. What's causing you anxiety? Do you think I'm getting ready to challenge you? Do you think that I'm getting ready to disagree with you? Do you think I'm getting ready to make you feel badly about yourself? What is the reason for the anxiety? What's the belief that when I come to you, your belief system kicks in that came from an experience that is working through your emotions, that has now dictated a thought that has you answering me the way you're answering me? Where's it at in your body? All of this is somewhere in your body. Gwendolyn, I'm coming for you too. I'm not going to let you have it. There's a physical response in your body. Oh my God, Cheryl Johnson, you and I again, huh? Yeah. And another one, emotions. Emotions are the most powerful factor in how we interact with others. People with higher levels of emotional intelligence can recognize and accept their varying emotional states. They don't try to live within two polars. Self-aware people understand that there's various emotional states, and they embrace it and they enjoy them. And to some degree, they're able to control them. Okay, I've been sad about this situation long enough. Just like that, I'm going to change it. I am determining the destination of my mind. I am not going to feel bad about this situation another minute or another day. This is the end of it. I used to give myself time limits. I'd say, you know what? I'm going to mourn this for the summer. I'm just going to go ahead and feel this thing out. I'm going to let all my feelings come through, whether they're true or not. I'm going to let all these emotions come up. And literally, I have said by September, this thing is over. And by September, it has been over in my life. But I knew that I was so soulfully connected to this situation that I knew that it wasn't something that I wanted to get over in a weekend. It would have been a lie, because it was from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet. So I have to allow this thing to be acknowledged for all that it was, the hope that was in it, the commitment that was in it. Hope is the heaviest one. It's not so much the disappointment sometimes in not getting or not having, but it's really the hope that you had for it. And that's why the Bible says hope deferred makes the heart sick. It's not that your relationship ended. Sometimes relationships end with people you don't even really like anyway, right? Let's be honest. What happens is you've had hope for that situation. So now your hope has been taken away, or your hope has been deferred. And that's what's making your heart sick. And that's why you can get over a heartache after a while, because the person really didn't break your heart. The hope made your heart sick. The hope being deferred, being delayed, being taken away from you, no matter how momentarily or not, that's what has made your heart sick. There is a physical response to your emotions. When someone say it's over, I don't love you anymore, there's a physical response, and that's what's making your heart sick. The hope is no longer there for you. I've known people that be like, oh my God, I can't wait to get out of this. I can't wait to get out of this. I can't wait to get out of this, whether it be a job, a relationship, or whatever, some commitment. But when it comes to an end, they're like, wow, I'm mourning this thing, and I wanted it over. I don't understand what's going on, because no matter what, you had hope in this thing. You know, the majority of women that I've spoken to that stay in bad relationships have always said to me, I stay because he might change after he and I break up. And then the next woman's going to get him. And I've done all this work with him. It's the hope that keeps us there. It's the hope that hurts our heart. It's the hope that makes us sick when it's delayed, deferred, or maybe denied for some period of time. Hope deferred makes the heart sick. There is a physical response to the loss of hope. What if I told you that more than mourning the loss of a person, it's more of the hope that you had that you're mourning? Why do you think people suffer so badly when people die and they weren't on speaking terms with them? Or people died and they never went and reconnected with that long lost parent or that long lost child? It's the hope. And sometimes people keep hope for. I saw on Instagram, Cher was standing in front of Sidney Poitier's, I don't know, it's not a studio, like a convention center or something. And she was standing underneath his name, Sidney Poitier's Convention Center or something. And she made a nice little stance in a beautiful dress. And she posted on Instagram and she said, I took this picture and I thought I had time to send it to him. And I with expectation, I was sending it to him. She says, now I have to deal with the fact that I waited and the hope I had will never happen now. So my hope has been denied. And now she's mourning something different than the man himself. I wish I had time to go into this. But sometimes we really think, let me give you this way, and then I'll try to move on from it. Have you ever been in a situation where maybe someone you know and you love lost someone that they know and they love, and you seem to be really mourning this situation worse? Or someone that you really didn't really love that much, but your level of mourning is worse or stronger than the love you actually had for them? All right, it seems like y'all are connecting with this. How about this? You ever watch something on TV that's sad and you cry over that thing more than it's really worth? There was something connected to that was hopeful for you. And when hope is deferred, it makes the heart sick. It makes the heart sick. You can replace him or her. We always do. Sometimes for the better. Sometimes we have to take a few steps before we get to the top of the ladder. But we always do. But it's the hope you had. Most people don't say, oh God, I don't want to go and start all over again with another relationship. It's that, oh my God, I got to hope all over again in this new relationship. Most people will stay in relationships because they don't want to invest the time. I put a lot of time in this. I did a lot of work in this. I'm going to just ride this unhappy place out for a while because the hope that they have. Can you imagine staying in a bad situation just because they may end up being what you want them to be after you left? God. Woo! Set us free in Jesus' name. That's a whole nother lesson there, Erica. So emotions are the most powerful factor in how we interact with others. People with higher levels of emotional intelligence can recognize and accept their varying emotional states. Knowing what emotional state you are in can go a long way towards enhancing your professional and personal relationships. If you fail to recognize these responses, you will find it difficult to process your emotions and move past them. I feel like somebody needs to breathe right now. Who is it? Come on, let's go. Let's do it together. Breathe in your nose, out your mouth. Isn't that beautiful? Holy Spirit in, new life out. Come on, breathe one more time for me. Up your nose and out your mouth, because somebody needs to breathe. I feel you too heavily right here. There's a word of knowledge going forth right now. There you go. Chest heavy. She's digging into my mind right now. Yeah, I can feel you through here. This is how connected we are when we teach on such strong experiences of healing and deliverance and going into the soul. There's going to be a connection no matter what our distance is. Absolutely. Absolutely. So what we want to do is have better control of our emotion. We want to have less emotional outbursts, less important decision making when we're having emotional stress that causes us to have emotional outbursts. And we want to work towards a much more effective communication and overall healthier, happier demeaning. I had two people get in touch with me yesterday, and they said they were going into anxiety mood. One was over the teaching and they were really focused on it. We call that hot pressing. We have to teach them how to cool press. And then we had another one who was just dealing with something in her life. And she said when she began to feel this anxiety rush over her, she immediately heard me on the live. In her mind, she heard me doing the live saying, come on and breathe. And she heard me breathing with her. And she started to go into the breathing up her nose, slowly out her mouth. That's mindfulness, you know, mindfulness. And this person, one of them I loved because they actually made the statement that I use often when I'm teaching the breathing techniques, the centering yourself, the mindfulness with the Holy Spirit. When you make yourself mindful, you say, God breathed the breath of life into man, and you breathe, and he became a living soul, and you breathe out. God breathed the breath of life into man, breathe that breath in, and he became a living soul. And center yourself. And what you center yourself is, now you're focusing on God. You're focusing on hearing your breathing. You're focusing on breathing right. You're focusing on the scripture may come to your mind, or a picture of God breathing the breath of life into man. And it takes your mind off of the stuff you're focusing on, and it gives you a centering. It gives you a mindfulness, a mind awareness to hear your breathing. Because when you tell people, do it like this, it automatically makes them start paying attention to the steps. And they've gotten their mind off of the anxiety. If they're on a bridge and they're having an anxiety attack on a bridge because they have a fear of bridges or a fear of heights, or they're getting ready to walk in a room full of people and their social awkwardness kicks in, they'll go, oh, wait, gotta focus. Okay, what is it? God breathed the breath of life into man. And your mind is off of that. You switch the channel and you're focused on, what are the steps? How do I do it? What does she say again? And just having to do those steps causes a level of mindfulness off of what you were thinking on and pull you into a different consciousness, a better channel of consciousness. Powerful, right? Nothing can be more powerful than a person who is very humble, humility working within them. And in our humility, we need discipline. Discipline. You cannot be a human being and not have discipline. So those breathing techniques that I just was going over with you again is a way to have discipline. Pull your mind and pull your thought. And no matter how silly or ridiculous it is, it works. It works. No matter how silly or ridiculous it is, it works. And that's the powerful thing about it. And I've seen people do sillier things. Stand in place and just tap your feet. And so now they're trying to focus. How do you do it now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And their mind is off what they were thinking about. And for some people, I've seen people stand on one leg for 4 seconds, stand on the other leg for 6 seconds. And people are looking at them like, you really have to do all that? No, the trick is changing the channel in your mind. And oftentimes instructions will give you a chance to try to do that thing so perfectly, you end up turning the channel in your mind. Powerful. All righty. So let's see. Where are we at in our work? Isn't this something heavy that we've been working on? How are you doing with your work? Has anyone else gone and talked to family members and asked if they see any patterns in any? What would it be? Have you been able to ask anyone? Did you get to anyone? No. If you, good, I can do you. And if you go to someone else and ask them if there was anything that you would change about me, what would it be? Again, this isn't because we listen to what people say and we're trying to focus ourselves on what people say. We're trying to hear the different responses. It's just like your personality assessment. And will adjusting it or tweaking it at all actually help my life? That's right, Cheryl. It's to change your focus. It's to change your channel. Take a moment sometimes in here and just breathe. Just take the time and breathe. Very good, Cheryl. Rhonda's waiting on a response. I'm still waiting on my response. That's good, Nicole. So let me ask you, waiting on the response, is that bringing any anxiety to you? I'm scared to ask the questions. Oh, Charnette, I pray for you. I pray for you to have peace, sweetheart. And, you know, if you want, have them mail it directly to your coach and just put your name in the subject line. And sometimes just have someone else read it to you. You ever get a letter that you are afraid to open up and you have someone else open it for you and read it to you because the rejection, the fear of rejection, just too much for you? Sometimes you just have to, you know, say, look, coach, can I have them email this to you? I have certain forms that I have clients fill out, and those that I train to be coaches, they have a huge application they have to fill out, and they have to get information, and they have to get some background information and send it in to me. They have to get references. Specific questions need to be asked in my coaching package when I train people to become coaches. And I'm so blessed right now. I just got a message the other day from my publisher, who he asked me if I would train him to be a mental health coach. He suffers with bipolar. He suffers from bipolar and has an amazing story on how he just lost his family and everyone. And he wrote a book on breaking bipolar. And I'm going to have him on here. We're going to do a podcast. And in February, I'm going to start training him to be a life coach. And he's going to help people break bipolar. Anybody want to shout and dance on that? When I got that email from him, he says, will you train me to be a coach? And I said, it would be my absolute honor to do it. So we're going to have a bipolar coach. We're going to have a mental health recovery coach specific in bipolar. And I've read his book. His book is really good. You know, there's a few people that are right on the line of bipolar and don't realize it. And bipolar diagnosis is going out like hotcakes right now, because what we don't understand sometimes in the therapeutic world is the spiritual world. And this is where I believe God has used me to bridge the connection. I know this is a real desire. Dominique, the Bible says that God calls the young because they're strong. I know God is going to use Dominique this way. Dominique is in her master's program. She's going to be licensed clinical social worker, and she's going to go all the way to have her own practice. And she's a young girl, and we can just give her, can we just give her a applause right now? How pleased we are with her. Some of us, we just want to be mental health coaches. Some of us want to go to the next realm and be a clinical, social licensed clinical social worker. Some want to go all the way up and become doctors in the field. And I honor all of your work, all of your work. And she even had mentioned to me that she wants to bridge the gap between the church and mental health, because the church does not want to acknowledge the mental health problem. We spiritualize everything. And this is a young girl. I don't even know if, I think Dominique might be on a big day 25. She might be 25. And she's in her master's program, and she's not going to stop there. There we go. Therapist, not social work. Thank you, sweetheart. There she goes. She's going to go all the way and do this work, because there has to be a bridge. And what the therapy world doesn't understand, that there is a spiritual world. Now, if you find a therapist who believes in the spiritual world, more specifically is a Christian, I think you can get a double whammy for therapy and therapeutic counsel. But, you know, we're trained, even as mental health coaches, we don't talk about social workers. We don't talk about licensed clinical psychiatrists, psychotherapists. We don't talk about any of them, because we're all in the people helping field, no matter what level we're at. But I do know this much. I've had many members of my church, many clients who have gone to workers in this field, and they're no different than new age magicians. And I don't care whether they have a license or not. They're giving people crystals to rely on in the office. They're talking about the energies. And if you have to go to therapy, please go. I admonish that. I'll drive you and sit in the waiting room for you. But it is important for you to find one that you can truly connect with, and one that's a believer. Your benefits will be outstanding. There is a lot of people that are bipolar, and it doesn't take much to get a diagnosis of bipolar. You know, bipolar is the high highs and the low lows, happy, happy, or low, low. And you can have bipolar mania, where it's just like, you can stay up for 3 days straight, write a book in 3 days, and then you crash after that. High highs and low lows. So some of the traumas and stress can open the door for spirits. And then the spirits that are operating in you or through you will cause you to show up and manifest in a different way, which can cause you to get a diagnosis of bipolar. Someone's just saying, this is why I stopped working for DCF. They do not believe in mixing the mental health with the Christian. Somebody knows what they're talking about. High highs and lows, lows. So we're going to have him on here. He's, and if you are interested in writing any books or anything, you know, I can introduce you to him as well. I'm also free to help you with writing your own book. You know, it's, you don't even have to go in and do all these book agreements with people. It is so easy to get a book published if it's just self-published. I mean, if you want to do a Stephen King novel, then I wouldn't even recommend doing it on the level with all these partnership books. But if you are writing a book that you want to inspire and help change or motivate people, you can self-publish. You just get your work done, people. Just get your work done. That's one thing you're going to find about me. When God tells me to do something, or I feel God has commissioned me to do something, I'm just going to get my work done. I don't care who's going to question me, who's going to make posts about me, who's going to try to compete with me. You know, I have such a gift sometimes. It's almost like what we call that dumb blind. Some things I just don't even see it. I just totally miss it. And people will come to me and say, you don't see this, you don't notice that. And I'm like, huh? What? Like it's a gift. And I just call it a dumb blind. No offense. Because when God gives you something to do, you just have to get it done. You have to get it done. And if you have 5 people or 25 people or 500 people or 5,000 people reading your material and they're blessed by it and it's causing them to change, it's giving them another perspective, it's bringing back the hope that was once deferred, do your work. Reach who God has given you to reach. And don't worry about anyone else. Do not worry about it. All right, Devana, come on. Just get your work done. We only have a short time on this earth, and we don't have time to be worrying about all these other nutty people. We just don't have time for it. So we're going to wrap it up, and we're going to wrap it up talking about the assessment that is now posted. If you will go on to my app and you go to my page, you will see a page that says, more specifically, if you go to the Wix app, download Spaces for Wix. If you're not sure what it is, email us at solution coaches at gmail.com, or go to the website. If you ever forget any of this and it says contact us, you can send it in through there and it gets forwarded to the solution coaches and they'll respond to you. Worst come to worst, info at SuzanneMHoward.com. INFO at SuzanneMHoward.com. There it goes. There goes solution. I'm going to put it over there now. And we'll help you get all this addressed. Make sure for some of y'all that are not tech savvy, that can't find the pages or can't find the app, all of that, we will help you and get it to you directly. But we want to get this next assessment done, because remember, we're going to have an emotional intelligent assessment coming up. So, you know, maybe we'll slow down about then, but y'all getting this stuff free. So don't complain, be excited, because this stuff costs. It costs like $75. And then for a appointment to go over all of this is $125. If you don't get it done in the session, then you need another session for $125. And y'all getting all this, hey, by the blood of the Lamb. So don't complain. Don't get overwhelmed. What you can't do, you can do later in the months of the years. This information isn't going anywhere. This is always on YouTube. You watch it on YouTube. You have a question, you just email us the question anytime from tomorrow to 10 years from now. And we're still here to help you. But try to get the assessment done once again, if you can keep up, because we're going to be having the emotional intelligent assessment. And now the reason why I'm asking you to focus on that, be mindful of the work, is because I want to spend some time helping you with emotional assessment. And I want to go over our personality assessments. How are y'all doing with the personality assessment? Introvert, extrovert? Matter of fact, Ashley, I want you to send me an email in your own words, and anyone else who wants to do this in your own word. And I want you to say, my name is Ashley Otero, and I want you to tell me who you are in whatever words you can that you have learned from your personality assessment. Yeah, being mindful, because I want to take the time to help you with it. With the personality, I want to break down how, give you some ideas without specifically going into each and every one of you on a live. Go in and give you some ideas how to help you with your weaknesses, how to turn your weakness into a strength, how to recognize when your weaknesses are manifesting and showing up in too much of a strong way, how to recognize your strengths and how to use your strengths, how to get you to recognize when your strengths are most used and where maybe you are missing good events and relationships or times in your life when you can actually pull your strength that's already a part of your personality. Pull that right in. Okay. So we talked about, I want to make sure that this is the right one before I give it to you, because we're going to be going home. And y'all don't have to drive. You don't have to watch any traffic in the parking lot. Isn't this beautiful? Are y'all enjoying this online in the evening? Candy Oats. Me too. Loved it. Turbulent advocate introvert. Now that sounds interesting. I've been writing my book for 15 years now, and I don't know what to do with it. Contact me, Mimi. I'd be glad to help you. We can get it done this year. Let's see. Can you name the behaviors that you are doing at all times? Can you name your behaviors? Next question. Can you name the emotions that you are feeling at all times? This is still general. We're zooming it in. Can you identify what causes a shift to negative emotions? Can you name the emotional patterns you experience the most? Can you name your deepest fear triggers? Ooh, these are some good questions. Can you name your deepest shame triggers? Can you name the principles and values you believe in the most? How do you consider these principles when making decisions? Can you name the passions that you have and which passions cause you to lose track of time while doing them? We're talking about purpose there. Can you state a list of goals and ambitions that you have for yourself? Can you describe the environment you thrive in the most? Can you identify a list of personal strengths and how they manifest themselves in your life? Your personality assessment will help you with that one. Can you identify a list of shortcomings and how they manifest themselves in your life? Can you describe your typical reaction to new information, whether it be positive or negative? Can you name what you need in your relationships to feel fulfilled? And then we help you through the scoring process and to get you understand another level of self-awareness in who you are. So we have it all in a Google form. You can fill it out. And I repeated it all tonight for those who are watching it later. Maybe you're not going to write in and ask for the assessment. Well, you have the questions there. You can write each one in your journal and begin to answer them yourself. For those who are listening to us in some time down in the future, you're going to listen to this and you're going to wish that you were on board. And if you only had known about it, if somebody had liked and shared the page, you would have heard about it. Well, we're giving you the questions while you're on the podcast and you can listen to the questions and begin to do your work. So again, we make it clear in your assessment. I'll read the beginning. Disclaimer: we are not making a medical diagnosis. This is a confidentiality agreement. All information is confidential. We will not sell, share, or disclose your information with anyone. This information is exclusively for Dr. Suzanne M. Howard. Taking this assessment and viewing your results is a step, one step in improving your self-awareness. You can see how self-aware you are, and you can identify where you might be lacking self-awareness in your life. However, step two, somebody say step two. Step two requires a bit more action. Self-awareness is not something you can achieve through one simple assessment or activity. It takes patience and purposeful practice. Unfortunately, most of us are going about self-awareness all wrong. What do? You get a coach in your life and you start getting the work done with a coach so that you can make sure to stay responsible and accountable and get clear understanding. All right. My time is up. Again, please hit like and share. Check us out on wherever you listen to your podcast at. I will be on here again tomorrow. Same time, same station. I always enjoy my time with you. I hope that you enjoy your time with me. And again, the website is there she goes, www.suzannemhoward.com. We are available to you almost 24 hours a day. A lot of y'all are late night stalkers like me. So you're up at night texting and inboxing and placing orders. And I'm up with you and I see most of them right away and we're able to start working on them through the night. So you can catch us on the website, www.suzannemhoward.com. Our phone number is 860-222-9884. And the emails are posted. The Cash App is there if you would like to send in tax-deductible donation into your soul recovery work. I'm so glad to have you here. Again, I will see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. God bless you. I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. I love you all very much, and I'm proud of you. I'm godly proud of this journey that you have begun. God bless you, and have a good night.
Let it Let